We have here 3 top plates that I've made up just for a hip end. The first thing I'm going to do is measure the span across the width of this building at right angles to the direction the ridgeboard's going to be going in, and I'm going to mark a halfway mark across there. And of course half that span is what we call the run of the rafter. So you'll notice I'm marking this in red pen, and anytime I mark a centre line of something I'm going to mark it in red just to make it nice and clear. And that centre line is the very centre of this crown end rafter that goes on the end of the hip roof. And I'm just going to use a piece of timber the same width as my rafter to mark that. So I'm just going to write crown end on that one. And the ceiling trimmer will go beside it, but we're not dealing with the ceiling frame in this video. So now I'm going to come around the corner, and whatever that half span distance that I just measured, I'm going to measure it the same down either side. So that is my half span measurement coming back along the next top plate around the corner. And there is the first common rafter, which joins up to the top of the hip end. And I'm just going to write common rafter beside that. And of course the ceiling joist will go next to it. But once again, we're not actually going to be building the ceiling frame in this model. So let's come down the other side, and we're going to mark that same half span measurement along here. So there's the centre of the common rafter, and if you want to, if you didn't want to measure it, you can just use an offcut of rafter material just to mark the width. And I'll write common rafter again. And as you can see, if I check that with a measure, I'm probably maybe half a mil off. Ceiling joist beside. So now it is time to mark the creeper rafters, and we're going to do that by measuring from the centre of that crown end and working our way back towards the corner. So my rafter spacings I'm going to put in at 450 centres. Yours of course will be whatever your plans say. And I'll come back the other way from the centre of that crown end, and there I will mark 450, 900, and I'll do the same down either side, remembering I'm not measuring from the corner back, I'm measuring from the centre of that common rafter and then working my way back towards the corner of the top plate. There's one creeper and there's another creeper. And I'll go around the other side and do the same on that side. Again, from the centre of the common rafter, creeper 1 and creeper 2. So on each of my creepers, again, I've marked to a centre line, and I'll just use my rule to mark half a rafter each direction. And there we go. And as you can see, 450 to my centre line. And don't forget to mark the hip ends on the corner. I'm just going to mark a 45-degree line right in the middle and do the same thing, measuring across the line, half rafter in each direction. And that will give us the position of the hip rafter when we go to put it in later. So in summary, what we've done so far is we have measured across the width of our building. We've measured half that measurement to get that half span and mark the centre of our crown and rafter. Then we've taken that same half span measurement and measured back this way for our first common rafter on each side. And then from there we've marked where our rafter positions are, and we've marked from there back towards our spacings. And then of course mark in the rest of where those rafter positions and creeper positions are. And of course don't forget to mark the two hips in as well while we're at it. Alright, that's the first stage down.